listening to TC Talks on TNT.
What's going on, guys? It is TC here, back with another episode of TC Talks. Today, we're going to be doing our predictions for Week 2 of the NFL. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on in because that is a lot of games. And we try to keep these videos short for all you lovely fans out there. Go ahead and show us the YouTube love down below. And let's go ahead and dive right on in. So to start off, we have Thursday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs host the Chargers. And this is going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be a lot of touchdowns, but still the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're looking to make their mark on the AFC this year, and they are going to handedly beat the Chargers. Then we have the Steelers hosting the Patriots. It is a battle of mediocrity, to be honest, in the AFC in this one. The Steelers going out there without star TJ Watt, who has been injured in Week 1. The Patriots going out there with their Mac Jones. So that's a handicap in and of itself. But in either case, you really look for Bill Belichick to really get his defense going in this one. Stop the Steelers offense from really getting anything going. And that defense for Pittsburgh is probably not going to be able to duplicate what they did in Week 1. So I got to go with the Patriots in this game, although it is going to be a close one. Then you have Baker Mayfield and the Panthers going to play the Giants. Now, Daniel Jones and New York had a successful game Week 1 against the Tennessee Titans in which nobody would have picked them to win, but I don't see that being replicated here in Week 2. Yes, this is a lesser opponent in the Carolina Panthers, but still Baker Mayfield had a heartbreak against his former team, so I expect him to come out here with some fire in Week 2, so I gotta go with Carolina in this contest. Then you have the Browns hosting the Jets. It is a battle of backups here with Mom Hunter, Zach Wilson sidelined to be able to look for moms in the stands. It is now Joe Flacco against Jacoby Brissett in a battle of backups for this Week 2 matchup. The Jets might have a chance, but honestly, with the run game of Hunt and Chubb for the Browns, I gotta lean towards Cleveland in this one. So gotta roll with Cleveland. Then you have the Colts and the Jags. But in either case, it is the Colts heading on down to Jacksonville, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. I want to lean the Colts just because I love Matty Ice, but at the same time, he proved on Sunday last week that he was not the answer for this team, so I don't think he's going to get it done. I got to lean towards the younger Trevor Lawrence and a guy who's looking to prove himself. I mean, honestly, Matty Ice, he has a good career, and he's probably not going to win a Super Bowl with this team. He's probably not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he is not going to be what gets the Colts in Indianapolis all the way to the Super Bowl. So got to go with the Jags in this one. I know they're not a Super Bowl contender either, but at the same time, I like Trevor Lawrence to be able to beat up on these Colts, unless that run game's going for the Colts, which I wouldn't mind because Jonathan Taylor, let's beat fantasy up together. Let's go, bro. But 168 yards on the ground again, I don't think so. So I got to go with the Jaguars in this one. Then the Ravens host Miami. And honestly, as much as I love Baltimore, I don't think this is as decisive as I would have hoped it would be, because Tua looked rather impressive in Week 1. He didn't look phenomenal or anything like that, but he did look a lot better than I was expecting. And honestly, the only thing I would really make note of is Tyreek Hill needs to get more involved in the offense. I understand that Tua is not the deadliest threat at quarterback, but at the same time, you gotta find a way to get Tyreek involved. He is obviously the key weapon on offense. Find out to get the ball in his hands. You guys got a chance, but I still got to go with the Ravens in this contest. Then the Buccaneers visit the Saints, and honestly, as much as I want to say the Saints got this one in the bag, not just because it's a home game, not just because they've beaten the Buccaneers 4 times in a row, but because the Buccaneers looked absolutely horrible against the Cowboys. They only scored 19 points, and sure, it was enough to get the job done, more than enough to get the job done, over 6 times what they needed to do to win. But at the same time, I did not like what I saw on the field. Tom Brady looked like age caught up to him, looked like life's catching up to him, and I don't see him being all that competitive in this game. But at the same time, it's Tom Brady. You got to give him his credit. I'm going with the Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in this matchup. Then the Lions host the Washington Commanders, and honestly, shout out to the Lions for a tremendous week 1 showing. I know they lost, but still 35 points, a bunch of rushing, and they tore it up on the ground, honestly, so good for them. But I think Carson Wentz proved me wrong more, so I gotta go with him to prove me wrong yet again in week 2. I am predicting him to win in this matchup. He's going to beat the Detroit Lions, no problem, without a question of doubt. So go ahead, let me know. Do you agree? Let me know down in the comment section below. Then you have the Seahawks, who could possibly ruin a young man's career. Trey Lance is probably at the last leg of his ability to play in the NFL. If he goes out there and plays lackluster against one of the worst teams in the NFL, then I cannot see him sticking around for the 49ers after this year. He might continue out the year in the hopes that the 49ers might be able to pick up a decent draft pick to get a quarterback. But at the same time, I don't really know if he's going to be able to execute. I would like to hope so, because I thought Trey Lance would be at least decent. But honestly, everything he's shown has been bad. So hopefully he's able to rebound, but I just don't see it. I think Geno Smith and the Seahawks walk away with the win in this one. Then the Rams host the Falcons, and as much as I'd like to say the Rams are going to go 0-2, let's be honest, they're going to bully the Atlanta Falcons. I know the Falcons scored a decent amount of points, whatever. They're going to either score a bunch of points and collapse, or they're going to get blown out. There is no in between, and the Rams are going to look to make a statement week 2. Then the Raiders host the Cardinals, and the Raiders are expected to be a great team, and I just don't see that being the case. Derek Carr will always be a middle-of-the-road quarterback, and now that he's expected to throw the ball more, it is only going to expose how bad he is as being the go-to guy for this offense. It is just not the way Derek Carr was meant to play football, and the Raiders are going to be exposed when the Cardinals beat them, and I mean beat them bad. It is not going to be a close contest. It might be a 2 to 3 touchdown win for the Cardinals. I know it's Kyler Murray going up against him, but still, I have more faith in Kyler Murray than I do in Derek Carr. The Broncos host the Texans, and unless this one's a tie, I gotta give it to Russell Wilson and the Broncos. They are making their first home game appearance, so I think they're going to get the job done. The Texans also showed a little bit better than a lot of people were expecting week 1, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Broncos. Then the Cowboys do their best to host the Bengals, as they're without their star quarterback, Dak Prescott, and he did not look like a star in that week 1 matchup either. Only 3 points for the Cowboys in that contest in which Dak played most of. So rather unfortunate for the Cowboys, but hopefully they're able to at least make it interesting against the Bengals on this upcoming game. But I got to go with the Bengals all the way in this one. Then the Bears versus Packers. We all know I'm going with the Bears, but let me tell you why. It is not the same situation as last year for the Packers. They do not have the same unit to just be like, okay, we're going to turn it on in week 2. It's just going to be like, no, that's not what it's going to be like this year. It is a completely different unit. No Devontae Adams. It is a big overhaul for this team, and everybody was just like, oh, it's Aaron Rodgers. He can make something out of nothing all the time. Perhaps. And maybe he'll be able to do it against the Chicago Bears, but will he be able to do it consistently week in and week out? I question that, and I honestly question it against the Chicago Bears. They looked pretty solid overall in week 1, especially in the run game, so that means that it might come down to the passing game for Green Bay, and if they're not able to execute, Chicago has a good shot. Then the Bills host the Tennessee Titans, and let's be honest, this is just another team to go into the graveyard for Josh Allen's 2022 season. He is just going to bury teams. It would take a miracle and then some to beat Josh Allen this year, so I expect the Bills to come away handedly in this contest. Then the Eagles host the Vikings to wrap up Monday Night Football. Yes, there are 2 games this Monday night, the Bills-Titans and the Eagles-Vikings, and I think it's going to be a shootout. If Kirk Cousins shows up, I give the Vikings the win, but I question his ability to do so, so I'm going to go with the Eagles in this contest just because I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board game in and game out. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What games do you agree with? What games did I get wrong? I know a bunch of you are already shaking your head at the Green Bay pick that I had there, but in all honesty, it is going to be Chicago. You guys are going to look foolish coming week 3, but I want to know your thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been TC with TC Talks. Peace.